Hey everyone, it's IQ again, also known as Rachel, for Elite Play Love, a subsection of the Grown Ass Adults YouTube channel and Ustream channel. We stream live at 10:30 p.m. until about 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Thursday night, so be sure to check us out. Episode 2 of Elite Play Love is going to be Reptar bars. What we do on Elite Play Love is we make a different nerdy type of snack every episode, and we use it and we eat it during our Ustream. So, today's episode is Reptar bars. The first thing that we need to do is coat a pan with aluminum foil. I'm going to show you how to make the base layer, the crust, first, because I'm going to make a cookie bar. Now, sometimes on the internet you'll see different types of recipes, and they're for actual chocolate bars with chocolate and then a layer of filling and then chocolate on top. These are going to be more Reptar cookie bars, so there's a different layer on the bottom and it's a cookie filling. So I have taken about 2 sleeves worth of chocolate sandwich cookies with fudge filling, and I have crushed it up, and I have placed it into this bowl, which I'm going to place into the bottom of this pan. And then I'm going to press it. Keep pressing it in. And then I'm going to take 1/3 of a cup of melted butter, and I'm going to pour it in and mix it in so that it solidifies. So I pour it in, and then I mix it up really good. I continue crushing as I go just to make sure that it's all nice and easily edible and easily cuttable. And then when it looks nice and relatively even, I'm going to put it in the refrigerator for about 10 minutes to solidify, or pretty much until the butter melts and everything gets nice and solid. Now, some of you may recognize Reptar bars from the Nick Jr. show Rugrats, which is from when I was a little kid, and had Tommy Pickles and Chucky Finster and their friends Phil and Lil, and the nasty little brat Angelica, and eventually gained a lot of other characters like Susie and Tommy's little brother Dill. But either way, there was a character that they always used to watch on TV called Reptar. He was a large green dinosaur, and their favorite candy bar on the show was Reptar bars. It was a chocolate bar with a green filling, and it turned your tongue green when you ate it. So, in order to do that, we need to make green filling. To do this, I'm going to use 7 ounces of marshmallow spread. I'm going to use green food coloring, and I'm going to use peppermint extract. It's not an exact science, usually about 1 teaspoon, but you pretty much just keep going until you like the taste of what you've got. So you pull the inside top off of your marshmallow spread. You need to invest in an apron. And then you take literally anything that you want to use. You can use spoons, you can use a fork, or you can use a spreader, and just take out your marshmallow spread from the jar. It's sticky. Alright, so when you're done getting out as much of the marshmallow spread out of the container as you think that you can conceivably do, just put it to the side. Ugh, I need an apron or something. Ugh, it's so sticky. And then move on. So the only thing that we really need to do is put in food coloring to make it green and put in flavoring. I've decided to do peppermint flavoring so that it's like a chocolate mint cookie bar. You could literally do anything. You could just put in some food coloring and then drizzle like peanut butter over it. You can drizzle caramel over it later. You can put peanuts, walnuts, anything into the filling that you want. I'm just doing green food coloring and peppermint. So I'm gonna start with like a bunch of large drops because I want this to be like gross cartoon looking green. It's still on me! Alright, I'm not going to spread with this, or I'm not going to stir with this flimsy spreader. I'm going to stir with the plastic. And as you can see, this is not nearly as green as I want it. I want it to be gross looking green. I want it to be, your parents would never ever want to eat this type of green because it just looks too unnatural. Now I'm green too. I'm awesome at this, aren't I? I'm going to wind up using like a full thing of this, but it's okay. I'm dropping it in, I'm trying to drop it in about large drops of 5 so that it's not, doesn't wind up too gross, but it still goes as you know, fast as I can. It's not nearly tongue green enough, so. There we go. That is more appropriately green. So, now that I've mixed the green food coloring in so that it came out, you know, kind of gross looking green, I'm going to start adding the peppermint extract. And like I said, you can normally do like a teaspoon. I need to open it. You can go by like actual teaspoon. I'm just going to use like plastic spoon. Apparently a little bit more. Which is probably going to be enough from the smell that is emitting from the bowl. It's delicious. It is very pepperminty smelling. I'm very proud of it. I'm just going to taste it to make sure that it's like not like weird or gross or it needs more. Nope, this is pretty perfect. Now I want it all. So, now that that's done, I'm going to put this aside for a little bit. And when the crust is done doing its thing and drying and setting, we're going to put the filling on the crust. So we'll put this to the side, and I'll see you in a little bit. So, we have taken the crust out of the freezer. It's spent about 45 minutes in the freezer. It probably could have spent less time, but I wanted to be really sure. So now that's out. We have made our super green pepperminty filling, and we have mixed it together. So now all I'm going to do is pour the filling on top of the crust. I'm going to do my best to leave a little bit of space, maybe a little less than an inch of space around all of the edges, so that when I pour the melted chocolate on there, the filling doesn't pop out of the sides, making it all super difficult to eat. But no promises. And it already didn't work. It already started moving towards that one edge, but you know, that'll happen. So I'm gonna get as much of this as possible. And I'm gonna try to spread it really thin because it doesn't need a whole lot of the filling in order to get that minty taste in there. I may or may not have put a considerable amount because I really like the taste of mint. Look at that pure crust, pure not filling. So you can spread it out as much as you feel like you need to. And like I said, if you decided not to put peppermint into the filling, if you just decided to use your marshmallow spread and your food coloring, now would be a time where you can put, you can drizzle peanut butter over it, you can drizzle caramel over it, you can put chocolate chips in, you can put nuts in, and this is just the time to experiment, you know, figure out what flavor Reptar bar you prefer. So I am spreading it out as thin yet deliciously as I can. I'm trying to leave some space. It worked in some places, it didn't work in others, but this is what it looks like after I'm done. You can kind of sort of see the sandwich cookie crust underneath it, but mostly it's just green. It's exactly what we want. And now we're going to start melting our chocolate. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I have two different pots, and the larger one on the bottom is filled with water until it just about touches the pot on the top. The top pot is going to be empty. You want to do your best to make sure that no water winds up getting into this pot, because once that chocolate hits the water, it's going to seize, it's going to be gross, and then it takes a really long time to try to figure out how to handle that. Most people just start over. And then I'm going to turn on the water. I'm going to put it on medium because I'm a sissy and I'm afraid of burning things. And then we're going to sit and we're going to wait until it boils. The water started boiling. I'm going to put the second smaller pot inside the pot of boiling water. I'm going to hold on to it so that I don't get any water inside the second pot. I'm going to start pouring the chocolate chips. I got a 12-ounce bag of semi-sweet chocolate chips, and I'm going to pour them in a little bit at a time, melt it, and then pour it on top of the filling. And I'm going to keep doing that on and off because I don't want to overwhelm myself or the pan and get water in it. You can use semi-sweet chocolate chips, you can use dark chocolate, you can use white chocolate, you can use milk chocolate. If you use white chocolate, it won't look like the Reptar bars from the show, but at this point, you can do whatever you want. So I'm going to put a little bit in. I'm going to try to spread it out a little bit so that it's nice and even. And then we're going to wait for those to melt. Nico? This is Nico. Say hi, Nico. Yes, I know. It's very exciting. Now, get away from the stove. Open. Want the treat? And then you just keep stirring. Make sure you continue to stir so that it doesn't get, so that the chocolate doesn't burn. And so that all the different chocolate melts evenly. Alright, now that all of this chocolate is melted, I'm going to move it over to here. And I'm going to do my best to try to get as much of the chocolate out so that the old layers of chocolate don't burn. Put that there for now, and I'm going to spread out the chocolate so that it's a thinner layer. I'm using a plastic scoop from the pumpkin carving kit that we got for Halloween. You can use a spatula, a spoon, a knife, a spreader, but I like to reuse things that you think you'll never use again, so. Just keep spreading. And that was good for one layer. I'm going to do one more layer just to be sure. So I'm going to put some more chocolate chips into the pot. I'm going to put the pot back in here. I'm going to put my spoon in here. And most important part of this step is going to be to continue to stir. Otherwise, the chocolate will burn and it will smell and taste absolutely disgusting. And that is the last thing that you want. So we're just gonna keep stirring. Alright, and this batch is all set, so I'm going to take it over to the pan, and I'm going to put one more layer of chocolate on there so I get like the thickest cookie bar you have ever seen in your life. And I've decided that I'm done trying to scrape out the rest of the chocolate. That's going to go over here. I'm going to spread again. Try to get all of the edges. What I like to do is spread it all over to one edge and then just drag it back so that you kind of just leave everything there. And just try to make it as even as possible. Go back and forth instead of just swirling it around. And that is all done. So now I'm going to take this, I'm going to put this in the freezer, and we are going to wait a little bit longer. And then right before the podcast tonight, which is Thursday, at 10:30, we are going to take it out, cut it, and put it on a plate for everyone to eat while we talk about tonight's topic. So that was episode 2 of Leap, Play, Love, where we made Reptar bars, more like cookie bars than actual candy bars. Remember to subscribe to our channel, like our video, comment if you have an idea for a recipe or even for a theme that you'd like to see me try. Make sure you go to Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, all the social medias, and search for Grown Ass Adults, where you can see our videos, see our blogs, check us out, interact with us, and make sure that you tune in on Thursdays at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our live Ustream for Grown Ass Adults. Check us out on Facebook if you need all the information. See you guys later.